Попадение! Заряжай щек!
Explosive footage of the precise work by the 3rd Assault Brigade in the Kharkiv region. Battalion operators spotted and hit camouflaged tanks, artillery, and an armored vehicle with kamikaze drones, while also targeting infantry positions. The battles in the Kharkiv region remain fierce, with Russia ramping up its offensive efforts near the border. Ukrainian forces are resisting multiple incursions, particularly near the town of Vovchansk, where Russian troops have reportedly advanced about a kilometer. The goal appears to be establishing a buffer zone along the border and potentially setting the stage for a larger push toward Kharkiv city itself. Ukraine has reinforced its defenses in the region, but the situation remains challenging as Russian forces use heavy artillery, armored vehicles, and missile strikes to target key infrastructure and disrupt supply lines. Despite these challenges, Ukrainian officials, including President Zelensky, have expressed determination to hold the line and inflict significant losses on advancing Russian forces. The battle for Kharkiv is not just about territory, it carries symbolic and strategic significance for both sides. Russia seeks to destabilize the region, while Ukraine views holding the area as vital to its national defense. The coming weeks could prove critical as both sides escalate their efforts in this region. Russian forces continue to prioritize the Kharkiv region, conducting probing attacks and artillery strikes to test Ukraine's defenses. Ukrainian officials warn that a breakthrough in this area could bring Kharkiv city within range of Russian artillery, creating significant risks for its 1.8 million residents. However, the terrain and strong Ukrainian defensive positions make a direct assault on the city an enormous challenge for Russian forces. The Ukrainian military intelligence GUR destroyed a Russian radar podlyot worth $5 million in Crimea. On November 28, 2024, as a result of a successful operation by the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine, the Russian radar complex Podlyot was destroyed in the temporarily occupied Crimea, the intelligence service said in a statement. The details of the destruction of the Russian radar are not disclosed. It is only stated that the enemy equipment was burned. This is how Ukrainian anti-tank operators destroyed a Russian T-72 tank using the Stugna P.
Попадение! Заряжай щек!
Пострел! Да, йде. Попадение! Загорелся, да.
It is with pleasure that I have accepted the official invitation of the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin's invitation. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico announced on his Facebook page that he would attend the May 9th parade in Moscow. He may become the first official representative of Slovakia to pay an official visit to Moscow after the start of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Is Mr. Fico aware that Russian soldiers who came from the war with Ukraine and who killed Ukrainians took part in the parade on Red Square last year? Does Mr. Fico plan to applaud these war criminals? The U.S. decision to allow Ukraine to fire American weapons deeper into Russia has not increased the risk of a nuclear attack, which is unlikely, despite Russian President Vladimir Putin's increasingly bellicose statements, 5 sources familiar with U.S. intelligence told Reuters. But Russia is likely to expand a campaign of sabotage against European targets to increase pressure on the West over its support for Kyiv, said 2 senior officials, a lawmaker, and 2 congressional aides briefed on the matter. A series of intelligence assessments over the past 7 months have concluded nuclear escalation was unlikely to result from a decision to loosen restrictions on Ukraine's use of U.S. weapons. That view has not changed following President Joe Biden's changed U.S. stance this month on weapons, said the sources. who were granted anonymity to speak freely about sensitive intelligence. The assessments were consistent. The ATACMs weren't going to change Russia's nuclear calculus, said one congressional aide briefed on the intelligence, referring to American missiles with a range of up to 190 miles, 306 kilometers. Russia's launch of a new ballistic missile last week, which analysts say was meant as a warning to Washington and its European allies, has not changed that conclusion. It seems that even Russian military bloggers are starting to feel uneasy when they see the exchange rate of the ruble. Before long, even the huge salaries for military personnel might turn into mere pennies. According to data from the Central Bank of Russia at the end of summer, the volume of Russian savings in banks reached 50.4 trillion rubles. This is more than a quarter of the expected GDP of Russia for the current year. By the end of 2025, the total volume of citizens' deposits could exceed 60 trillion rubles. The question is, will it be possible to return this amount to the depositors, along with paying interest, without causing a crisis in the banking system? After all, businesses are holding similarly large sums in deposits as well. It all makes sense. The interest rate sharply increased, and people rushed to deposit all their savings in banks. How can these deposits be guaranteed to be repaid with interest? There's one effective option. Devalue them, that is, a devaluation. Deposit interest rates in banks are now at 23% per annum and higher. High yields, but there's one catch. As of January 10, 2023, the dollar exchange rate was 70.3 rubles. Today it's already 105 to 108. That's over a 50% loss for us. The Ukrainian armored personnel carrier Onsila Sturm has been officially codified and approved for use by the Ministry of Defense. The vehicle will be produced in several variants and features the following specifications: a crew capacity of 3+6 additional troops, a range exceeding 700 kilometers, a powerful turbo diesel engine, automatic transmission, tire pressure adjustment system, fire suppression system, and air conditioning. Its armor is resistant to small arms fire, shrapnel, and explosions, and it is equipped with a remotely controlled combat module featuring a heavy machine gun. The Biden administration is looking for an additional military aid package for Ukraine to maintain aid supplies throughout 2025. Biden has urged Congress to approve an additional $24 billion for military aid to Ukraine to ensure uninterrupted support regardless of the next administration. $16 billion will go toward replenishing U.S. stockpiles. $8 billion is allocated directly to Ukraine under U.S. Aid Act.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.